Good. Good afternoon. This is the Kingsburg Public Safety Tax Measure E Citizens Oversight Committee meeting. I call to order. It is Monday, May 19th, 2025 at 4:03 p.m. And we want to approve the agenda. I need a motion to approve. Motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Thank you.
I will second.
All right, motion approve the agenda is approved. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say nay. None. Presentations and informal reports, we have none. Is there any public comment at this time? No public comment. The regular calendar, approved minutes from May 14th, 2024, regular meeting as presented by City Clerk Abigail Palsgard. Motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second?
I will second.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Measure E 2024-25 update and oh wait, did I do that? Did I skip? Is that right? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'm sorry. Measure E 2024-25 update and 2025-26 budget planning. Staff report by City Manager Alex Henderson.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Thank you for being here this evening. Both of the chiefs will give their presentation shortly. I just wanted to give some brief background. Again, just a reminder of Measure E. If you recall, Measure E is a 1% public safety sales tax that was approved by 72% of voters during the June 5th, 2018 election. It's a little bit different from the regular local tax that we received, also known as the Bradley-Burns Uniform Sales and Use Tax Law. This Measure E falls under what are known as district taxes, and ours was passed at 1% by the voters. Because it's a transaction use tax, it is allocated to the jurisdiction where the tax product is received or registered, which is the case of like a motor vehicle purchase. And because of this Measure E, 1% revenue collections are higher than the 1% local jurisdiction place or sale of use taxes. For example, if a consumer purchases a new motor vehicle and registers it in Kingsburg, which is their place of residence, the city receives the 1% sales tax for that vehicle for the purposes of Measure E. The same theory applies with destination-based purchases, which is especially relevant for online activity, which saw a sharp increase during the pandemic. There's some additional information in your staff report that talks a little bit about the fund and its activity up to this point. I did want to note that originally we estimated that Measure E would generate about $1 million annually. Thankfully, the numbers have been much higher than that. This year, we're anticipating revenues at about $2.6 million. And since inception, the city has received over $14 million through Measure E's cash receipts alone. Because of that, the council has started discussing the potential of renewing the effort. So if you'll recall, Measure E went into effect on October 1, 2018 for a period of 10 years as outlined in the original ballot language. So unless it is extended, Measure E will expire on September 30th of 2028. Because the impact it has had on our police and fire departments is so significant, the city's finance committee began discussing renewal efforts for Measure E on February 24th, 2025, and ultimately recommended continuing the discussion with the council. The council has given direction to put the measure on the ballot for June 2nd, 2026, but they are currently accepting additional input. They are not sure, for example, if we should put another sunset clause on the measure. So obviously originally there was a 10-year sunset clause. The challenge with sunset clauses obviously is that we have a significant amount of personnel that are tied up in both police and fire. So if the measure ultimately were to fail and go away, those positions would go away as well. So I just wanted to keep the group aware of kind of the activity that's occurred with both the finance committee and the city council. And obviously the chiefs can talk a little bit about how much the measure has done for their individual departments. In your report this evening, you'll see fund summary, both revenues and expenditures, which we work through both with police and fire departments, as is customary during this time of year, as we prepare our fiscal year budget for the coming year, which starts on July 1st, will be considered by council in June. So that concludes my report. I'm certainly happy to answer any questions, and then we'll turn it over to the chiefs for their presentations. Thank you.
No questions? Go ahead, Chief. All right. Come on up, Chief.
I follow rules. I was waiting for you to call me.
Oh, so sorry. Please come to the podium.
You gotta use the authority while you have it.
Oh, yes.
Okay, good afternoon. Neil Dadian, Chief of Police for the City of Kingsburg. And I will have, yeah, that's great, thanks. All right, okay, I'll give you a thumbs up or. So, first thing I'm going to do is give you a recap of our current fiscal year, 24-25, and a spending plan for next fiscal year. So we have currently, our capital outlay is about approximately $80,000 a year that we're spending, a little less on body-worn cameras and dash-mounted cameras in all vehicles, patrol and detective vehicles. And that is completed. And this is year 2 of 5 of a 5-year subscription. We purchased 3 vehicles. We had $180,000 in carryover funds from a couple of prior fiscal years that we finally completed this year, purchase of those vehicles, just a backlog with cop cars all across the country. Especially,
Do we have them all now?
Pardon?
Do we have them all now?
Yes, sir, we do,
Okay.
yeah. So finally, we have them all. We don't have them all upfitted, so that's the equipment added to it. That's done by a private vendor, but we have them all. So we're fortunate there. And then safety equipment, $20,600 in a variety of different types of equipment, and I put in here some examples: ballistic vests, ammunition, helmets, restraints, firearms, or other personal protective equipment, and taser subscription. So we went to a different taser. Our taser now is a Taser 10. It's based on a subscription service. It's the latest, greatest piece of tech out there, and they're not supporting anything else, so that's how we arrived at our current taser subscription. Our training plan is ongoing. A variety of things are complete, but peace officer skills and specialty training is always ongoing. So in the next couple of months, if somebody needs to go to a class, specialty type training, we'll have that available for them. Any individual or assignment based training, detective training, things of that nature, that will be ongoing as well. We did train all of our officers in Taser 10, Peacekeeper baton. We purchased a different type of baton. We have that completed. Technical and investigative conferences, I think, are all done for the year. Leadership and supervisory conferences. I always focus on sending my female officers to specialty conferences for themselves, and that has been completed for this year. And of course, new laws and regulations, which is never ending, it seems like, but I think we have that knocked out at least for 2025. Some more stuff. Again, I just gave you an idea of what that might be. Tactical breacher courses, tactical building search courses, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu instructor, arrest and control, digital evidence recovery. That's extremely important these days. That's probably some of the best way we get evidence, and it takes a lot of time and effort, so we have to do that right, and there's a lot of law related to that. Pistol optics instructor, our 6-hour pistol, we send people specifically to a course to be armorers for that. Surveillance courses, school resource officers, sexual assault investigation, and of course dealing with tender age victims as well. So that is some of the training that we send people to on a regular basis. Other specialty training is leadership development, supervisory training, Central California Women's Conference has been a good one, and then Women's Leader in Law Enforcement, that's put on by California Police Chiefs Association. So I try and get as many female staff, both sworn and civilian, to that as possible. Personnel, this year, we had 9 full-time positions funded by Measure E, 2 police lieutenants, 1 police sergeant, 5 police officers. A quarter of my salary is also funded by Measure E. And although I didn't put it in here, you'll see it in the fire chief's presentation. 0.17% goes to an accountant in the finance department, and 50% of an account clerk too is also in the finance department. So we split that. With our general fund and police contracts, we have 30 full-time employees, 26 sworn, and 30 professional staff. So spending plan for next year, 25-26, is pretty similar. Matter of fact, you probably won't notice much of a difference, except that we are going from 5 police officer positions funded by Measure E to 4 police officer positions funded by Measure E. Cops are getting more expensive, and we've pretty much plateaued on revenue, so the cost won't support a 5th police officer. We had to make a tough decision, and that's where that ended up. But overall, total, it'll be 8.25 positions funded. Still fund the half of an account clerk and 0.17 of an accountant as well. So I kind of mentioned we went from 30 sworn, we're going to 29 sworn. That's really the only difference. Capital outlay will be $75,000 approximately in year 3 of 5 of our subscription for the body-worn cameras and the dash-mounted cameras. Our training plan, we pared that down. Normally, in the last few years, I'd put $50,000 in there. This year, $40,000 again. Just had to conserve for various peace officer specialty training, individual assignment training, investigative training, and all of the things that I'd mentioned before, but we're still able to do most of that. We'll just have to be judicious about some of it, but I think we'll get it all done. And of course, new laws and regulations, and I just threw in a couple of folks who provide that training for us. LCW, one of our law firms that we work with, Central Valley Risk Management Association, they put on a lot of training for us as well. Sometimes there's no cost to that, but sometimes there is a cost. Also, I tossed in some line item amounts, just so you understand and have an idea of what we're spending that on. So all of those positions, those 8 positions that are funded by Measure E, they require, a variety of things: office supplies, safety equipment, vehicle maintenance, small tools and equipment, screening of personnel, which means the hiring of new personnel, replacement personnel. That there's a cost that we have to account for. Fuels and equipment maintenance. Some of the, just to give you an idea of what that is. And then the next one, if you remember, a few years ago, we worked out a contract with the high school district and the elementary school district, and they provide the full cost of a police officer. In partnership with them, the police department and the city are funding their services and supplies, or operations and equipment budget. So the school district pays for the police officer and all the associated costs with hiring a police officer, health and welfare benefits, pension, etc. And then the city provides a vehicle, safety equipment, office supplies, all of the maintenance that goes along with the year-to-year costs, training and education, etc. So that accounts for both the elementary school district and the high school district. And I put those costs up there, which gives you an idea of how much one officer consumes on a yearly budget. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your time and attention. Again, thank you for your civic participation. I am happy to answer any of your questions.
Any questions? No, it looks good to us. Looks good. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Rodney Roberts, Fire Chief. Thank you for having us today and allowing us to go over our highlights of the year and what's to come. So in 24-25 expenditures, we have 3 fire captains, 1 fire apparatus engineer, 1 part-time administrative assistant, and 50% of an account clerk. And then 17% says account clerk, but it's also an accountant. And so we'll make those changes here pretty soon. But this is a change from previous. We did reallocate some of the positions that we thought that would fit a little bit better for Measure E. And so that's what it reflects now with the 3 captains, 1 engineer, and then the administrative. For 24-25 expenditures, things that we had bought this year with Measure E is, so you see on there $45,000 for tools and equipment. That would be some extrication tools that we have. Also working on the new fire engine that's to come, and then also with radios. Communications, $45,000 there. That majority of that goes to running our internet, internal communications that we have in there, from internet to Kingsburg Media, the things that they provide.
Can I ask a question on that?
Yes.
Is that an inherited project, or is that a new project?
With the communications?
Yes.
I believe that that's something that's been there for numerous years that from what I know.
Because I know the last couple of years, we've spent an awful lot of money for communications. That's why I was asking whether it was something new that was needed, or whether that was still in the backlog.
Yeah, and just as you had said, is I know some of the things for communications in the past is like such things as radios that I've seen being at the department so far with the BKR 9000s and the other radios that we have there, that they've spent a decent amount of money upgrading radios to P25 compliant dual band. And so I will have to look into that and see if that is something that with what you're saying, but I just looking at the budget now of where that's at. Okay. For professional services, those are things such as physicals for the firefighters, that we provide a physical for each and every one of the firefighters that want it. This is a higher level physical than what you would get at your normal doctor's office, and looking for screenings such as cancer and other things, blood work, things that, truly with firefighters, that there's a lot of things that they look at for that they're more susceptible for, and so that's what this physical is looking at. Also, one of the other big things in professional services is ImageTrend. ImageTrend is our reporting software. It's how we report to the state and federal government, the calls that we go on. It's also our PCRs, which is a personal care report to each and every paramedic or EMT that treats somebody. That's where we put all that information. Our dispatch times from both entities, from CAL FIRE and Fresno EMS, both combined into there. It's so professional services with that ImageTrend, it's just something that you see that in there. It's a huge undertaking that we've switched from a different one. I believe it was last year, year before, but it is something that we had to do because of the ending of the other one. Training and education, just sending our personnel to training such as RTF5, which is training that we do with Fresno County. It's more of a technical rescue training. We have a team within Fresno County. We provide a lot of the medic service with that, because in Fresno Fire Department, Clovis Fire Department, they do not have paramedics. So we're a great addition to that with our paramedics and also being firefighters also. So we have about 6 people trained in that, and we send them the regular training with Fresno Fire and Clovis Fire, and then also other training that kind of goes along with it. Trench rescue training is another thing that kind of goes along with that. It's that if you had somebody that was inside of a trench, And obviously dirt is very heavy. It's, very delicate to work around. So we actually just put one of those classes on recently. And so we put those classes on. Fresno Fire, Clovis Fire attended that class with us. The symposium, so once a year, the Fresno Symposium puts on. It's a higher level training that's put on here in Fresno, which is wonderful because firefighters come from all over the state. We have quite a few members that go and attend that training. Some of it's higher level with leadership, some of it's extrication, some of it's building construction, and then there's also higher level as far as like chief and things that every level and every person in the fire department can go and have something they could go and see. Measure E capital outlay, something that's hopefully you will see relatively soon, is our new fire engine that's coming. It's out in Nebraska right now. It should be here relatively quick. Captain Osborne and firefighter Copus just went out there and did a final on it. They found a few things that they wanted still fixed, so it's still there. They're very delicate and attention to detail. We're going to get a good product out of them, and we're all excited about this. This is something that it's been in the works for 2 to 3 years, and fire engines are going up more and more every year. That most fire engines now are about $1.2 million, and then like a fire truck that you see the ladder on top, those are somewhere in between 1.6 and $2 million now. It's just I don't know if we could ever try and keep up, but I'm thankful that we're working on it, and that's one of the things that you see in our PowerPoint. It's something that we have to plan for. It's not something you can just make a purchase overnight with anymore. I don't think any of us can. But the help of some legislators and them bringing in some money for us, but also the planning that we're doing here in the city of just putting money away and having a plan for, as it shows on here, a fire engine usually in the city of Kingsburg is lasting about 15, 20 years. They don't last as long as they used to because there's more computers on them. And so with those things, and that's usually as those computer components wear out, then it's harder and harder to find those parts. And so that's where you see that our time frames for fire engines are getting lower. But we usually try to get 10 to 15 years of frontline status, and then we usually put them in reserve for a certain amount of time. So our current fire engine will go into reserve status once this one comes. So on top of that, you'll see PPE testing, $15,000 in there. PPE is getting more and more crucial, more and more of an expense, just like a fire engine. It has a 10-year lifespan. That is the turnouts that we wear inside of a fire. They're usually to outfit with one firefighter, probably about $5,000 per set. Usually every firefighter has 2 sets. And so that when you're washing one set, you have another set, or if you have to send it off for repair, you have another backup set back at the fire station. There's more. Cal OSHA just adopted the NFPA rules, so it is getting more stringent on things that they are making us comply with. And so we're working through those Cal OSHA rules and working on the extra things that we're needing to do, and that comes with more inspections. It's coming with more washing. And it's actually, unfortunately, it's coming with replacement or replacing earlier than the 10-year lifespan, because once it gets to about 7 years, they're like, has all these holes in it. It's cheaper just to buy new. Emergency operations, that you see $20,000 in there. That's part of it is from the SOC that we did, the standard of coverage. That's something that's done this year. It just finished up. Chief Banansky that was here before gave that standard of coverage to presented that. It's also on our website, things that are on their goals for our department, things that we're working towards, things that I'm working towards, things that hopefully I can present to you more next year of things that we're accomplishing in that. And it's a good guiding block for all of us here at the fire department, just things that we're looking towards, things that improve life safety, improving the public safety, and just gives us a good roadmap for all that. So hose replacement, every year we test all of our fire hose at the fire station. And after that, we basically go through and the things that either have holes in it or the inner liner is wearing out. Those are hose that we like to replace, and I've seen that we've had some hose that they replaced over the few years. It's about 20 years old, so it's needing to be replaced. So yeah, it's definitely helping out with our replacement. In 25, 26 proposed expenditures, we're going to stay with our same allocation of personnel. We're not looking to change any of it. It's working really well for the budget. And so still staying with the 3 fire captains, the 1 fire apparatus engineer, 1 part-time administrative assistant, and then 50% of account clerk, and then 17% of an accountant. So split between fire department, PD, and public works. And then for capital outlay, just I had said before, we have to plan, and we definitely, that next fire engine that we get is, I'd love to tell you that it's going to be 1.2, but who knows what the price is going to be. I know that they, for most of them, as you saw on there, it took us 2 to 3 years to get a fire engine. Depending on the company that's out there, you could be waiting 4 years. And the prices just keep going up. There's contingents in every single one of them that says that, hey, if it goes up more than 10%, you're on the hook for it on the back end, 4 to 5 years from now. So I don't know what it's going to cost when we need a new one yet, but we're doing a great job planning for it. And that's all I have in my presentation, but if you have any questions, I'm here and hopefully I could answer those.
All good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. No questions? I called a motion to approve and accept the budget. Oh, asking for a motion to approve or accept the budget.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget.
Okay, need a second?
One second.
Thank you. All approve, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion approved. Awesome. Okay, and the meeting is adjourned? Or we have one more, do we have anything else? What do I need to? Oh, I'm so sorry. Other business. Is there any other business for the meeting? We all good? Okay, now I can adjourn the regular meeting. Thank you. 4:30. Hey, good job, guys.